Hello YouTube. So just a quick public service announcement here. Remember to clean out your computers for, clean out the dust filters, clean out the fans, and check your thermal compounds every now and check that your fans are actually working. If you do that on a regular basis, then you might not have the issues that I've just had to deal with for quite a while actually, but I really only decided to do something about it today. And that was that my CPU was overheating. So that's the end of the public service announcement. I'm just going to go into ramble mode now, so you can just move on if you're just here for that. The main problem that I've been having is when I've rendering video in Davinci Resolve, then like 50% of the time it would crash, and that meant it could be quite hard to actually get a video done sometimes, especially long videos, because the longer it had to render for, the higher the likelihood it was that it was going to crash. So I can happily say that's not an issue anymore. You can see I've done a project here that took 2 hours and 15 minutes to render. That was a 1 hour long video, I think, which I put in 4K actually, just because I wanted to really push the system for an extended period of time. Now these numbers here are actually not from rendering this video, it was from running a 3D mark benchmark here. And that's not terribly CPU intensive. So we have minimums of 37 and highs of 57. That's very, very good. When I was doing that 2 hour render, it got up to 69 as the max for the CPU, which is still pretty good. As you can see, I have an AMD Ryzen 7 1700 processor in my system. That's 8 cores. That's usually clocked at 3 gigahertz, I think, and then it can boost individual cores up to 3.6, 3.7 ish, thereabouts. But I've gone ahead and done an all core overclock to 3.5 gigahertz, just because the multi-threaded performance is more important for me than the single-threaded performance. I don't really care about those individual core boosts. I want all the cores to run as fast as they can simultaneously. Then I also have a GeForce GTX 1070 Ti. I don't remember the brand or anything, but it's not a reference design, and that's also slightly overclocked. So you know what, let's just run this while I talk, so we have something to look at. And I'm not gonna break any high scores or anything, that's not the point, not even my own high score, because I'm actually, since I'm capturing or recording video on the same PC as I'm benchmarking, that's not going to break any records. Anyway, I built this system about more than 2 years ago. It was at the original Ryzen launch. And I just put it together as fast as possible, got it up and running. I was very happy with it. And I have not had this system apart since then at all. So I have not cleaned it, I have not checked the thermal compound or anything until today. Yeah, it was quite filthy. Of course, there was, well, first of all, the case, it doesn't actually have a dust filter on the front. It has one on the bottom, that's it. Okay, that protects the power supply, but the front case fan can still suck in a lot of dirt and stuff. And it has various mounting holes for fans where there is no fans, where dust can just get in anyway. So I had to clean out all that, and then in the process of doing that, I noticed one of the fans was actually not really spinning. It was spinning, but at a very low RPM, like 200 RPM or something like that. Very slowly, so it was actually not really moving any air at all. It was just useless. And that was, I think it was called Arctic something. It was basically the cheapest fan I could get from where I bought all the other components when I built this system. And yeah, that was probably not a good idea, but yeah, it worked fine when I put the system together, but at some point it has apparently decided to more or less die. At least go on like early semi-retirement. So I've got another fan in there now to help with that problem. But the real problem was the CPU overheating, and when I got the heatsink off there, first of all I noticed that the thermal compound on there was like almost solid. It was not gooey or even sticky or anything at all. It was totally dried out. And what happened there was I just have the MD stock cooler for this CPU. It is the Wraith Spire with LEDs. Even though I don't have a window or anything in my system, but it does have LEDs. For you who care about that. And that comes with some thermal compound of some sort pre-applied. And the stuff that's pre-applied on coolers is usually pretty bad, because it's there to make it easy. It's not there because it's good. And it's not runny or anything, because that would make it run off in shipping. So it's fairly solid, and that means it dries out pretty fast. So, and I usually actually I don't use the stock compound there, but I guess I was just lazy when I put together this system, so I didn't replace it with some real thermal paste. But I have done that now. And then I also removed the fan from the top of the cooler, because it's a blowdown design, so it blows down onto the heatsink and onto the motherboard. And especially with that design, it seems it's very common that dust collects underneath the fan, so between the fan and the heatsink, and I was pretty much caked up with dust. So basically all the air that the fan was moving, hardly any of it actually got into the heatsink. So that's obviously an issue, so I had to clean that out. I cleaned, and then I took a vacuum and just cleaned out every speck of dust I could see in all the cracks and stuff on the on the what's it called, on the case, and got everything cleaned, and I got everything put back together. And now, yeah, I've gone from, like I said, I'm hitting about 69 degrees on the CPU if it's running like 100%, like doing video encoding and something. for several hours. It tops out at just below 70. And if before I did this, it topped out at 92 degrees, I think, or maybe even 93. It wasn't actually thermal throttling or anything. It seemed fine. So I don't usually have a program installed on my computer where I can see the temperature of the CPU. So I mean, I didn't see throttling or anything, so I didn't think anything was wrong. But obviously it was. The only problem I had was Davinci Resolve kept crashing and crashing and crashing again. So, I mean, if I hadn't been lazy and I've done this before now, then I wouldn't have this have had these issues that I've had for at least a few months now. So yeah. So my message to you guys is just, yeah, I know it's a hassle to clean out your computer and stuff like that. Taking it apart, and then you probably have to take out the fans, and then if there's dust in those, you might have to like get like a cotton swab in there to really get it out. And yeah, and it can be messy with the thermal paste and stuff, when you have to clean that off the CPU and so on. I know it can be a hassle, but just do it, every once in a while. You don't have to do it every week or every month or even every 3 months, but probably something like every year would be good, I would say, at least based on what I've seen with my computer here. You should do it occasionally, like once a year. Make it, put a yearly reminder in your calendar to clean out your computer. Just because it's a really good idea. So yeah, we got a score of 6,089. That's not very good because, well, like I said, I'm capturing while running a benchmark. Let's see here, I've gotten another one. I think I was also doing something else while I was doing that. So yeah, these aren't really valid. The max I've gotten is 7191 here. That was actually before I cleaned it out. I mean, it was still stable enough that I could complete a benchmark even with overclocks. Let's see, here I was running 3.6. Yeah, so actually a little bit more than I am now. So that's about where the max I can get out of the system currently, but that's fine. Also, I don't really care about 3D Max scores, but that's a different discussion. Yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to ramble a bit about this because, you know what, if you don't do it, you can end up with some weird problems, and if you don't realize what's going on, it could be a bitch to figure out and fix. So just just do it. Just do it. Okay. Okay, you guys. Okay, that's it for now. Like and subscribe and all that if you want to. If not, then take care.